Welcome to Creative Living, where we help you live your most creative life. I'm Jane Manzuris. Well, the temperatures are rising and the kids are counting the days until school is out. Today, we're talking about summer. But before we get started, let's take a look at what's coming up on the show. We get grilling tips from a barbecue pitmaster. And our garden experts have advice on getting a blooming garden. Plus, a trip to Louisiana for a popular dining spot in Baton Rouge. That and so much more on this episode of Creative Living.
For the first time, as soon as they come to the backyard, especially in the evening when the lights are on and the fireplace is on, they like take a step back, say, whoa, you got a nice yard. One day my wife and I were sitting out here having some coffee in the morning, and we were looking out towards just an empty hill. I said, you know, that's a lot of square footage up there that isn't getting used. She's like, well, do you have anything in mind? And I said, yes, hold on one sec. So I ran inside real quick, grabbed a piece of paper and a pencil, came back out, and in a matter of about 5 minutes, I sketched out a little drawing for her. And I said, this is probably what I have in mind here.
Rob came in with a sketch on a piece of paper, and it was like really rough. But what was great, because it gave us an idea of what he wanted to accomplish. We were able to direct him in the right direction, give him a couple choices on what walls to use, what stone veneer he could use.
Veneer stone, I think, is my favorite. If I had a chance, I'd probably veneer stone my room if my wife didn't put the stop on that. So.
And from there, we helped him out with some installation videos and I believe some contractor referrals to get an initial quote before he started the project himself.
This entire project from start to finish took about a year and 2 months.
I would have expected Robert to maybe hire a contractor, because that is an incredible job. I mean, he did an amazing job.
Well, my crew was basically a crew of one, and mostly my nephew, my sons would come around, and the way I'd get these guys to come over, I'd say, hey, I'm throwing a barbecue this weekend, come on over. And they didn't know that I had shovels waiting for them so they can help me actually dig it out and stuff. I told them I'd feed them afterwards, but you know, they had to do a little work first and stuff, so. I would recommend a lot of planning, preparation, really talking to skilled workers that know how to do this type of work before you even lay the first stone. RPC Block Brick has a lot of useful information, whether it's on their web or just talking to the guys over there. They're more than happy to talk to you about any kind of design or any kind of wall or something that you're wanting to build.
Summertime means it's time to get outside and start grilling and chilling, so now's the time to perfect your barbecue game. So joining me is the owner of Big Sweet Barbecue, Johan Magnuson. Johan, what is Big Sweet Barbecue?
Big Sweet Barbecue is I think, spreading the joy of cooking outside companies. We do cooking classes, we do barbecue events, we help grill companies with videos, recipes, and then we have our own line of barbecue rubs. And the purpose is teaching people how to cook better food outside.
You are so passionate about sharing your knowledge with people who want to learn. Why is that important to you?
I have a background as a corporate trainer, and I think there's something magical happens when you teach people things that they didn't think that they could do. And if you can combine my love for teaching with the love that I have for barbecue and food, you can't beat that. It's an amazing feeling.
All right, now it's time to get into some of these tricks and tips that you have that you teach everybody. You're going to tell us now. Is seasoning the most important part of barbecuing?
I think the most important thing is probably the produce that you're using, the meat, the quality of the fish or the steaks and whatnot. But seasoning is important, and I would say the freshness of the seasoning, it's really what matters. So If you have rubs and spices that's more than 3 years old, they lose a lot of the flavor. So what I did before I showed up today was that I raided my pantry.
Oh no!
And this is sad, this is pathetic. I took all the rubs and seasonings that were more than 3 years old, and
they're gone.
This is what I found.
Wow.
They still taste like rubs and seasoning,
right.
but they're bland. They don't have the same power.
Do you prefer working with a gas grill or using charcoal?
I think it depends. I like both. I like the practicality of a gas grill, but I also like the flavor of charcoal. And then you have pellet grills as well, where you use wood pellets to fuel the fire.
Right.
And I think it's about knowing your grill, how it cooks, and be happy with what you have. And to be honest, you can have both.
Are there any gadgets that we should have to go along with our perfecting our grilling?
I brought 3 that I think every griller should have. And the first one is a good thermometer. The most common question that I get at every cooking class that we do is how long do we cook it?
Yeah.
And when it comes to brisket, you never know, because it depends on the size of the meat, what kind of grill you have, the temperature, the altitude. So I always tell people, don't cook to time, always cook to temperature. I love when I bring my friends over to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
You want those perfect grill marks. These are called grill grates, and what you do is you place them on top of your regular grates.
Oh.
And what they will do is they just give you perfect sear marks every single time.
And then is this your last gadget?
And this is my last gadget. It's what we call a smoke tube, because I like to infuse everything with a little bit of smoke.
Of course, for flavor.
So you put some pellets in the smoke tube, you put that in the grill, and that would just give it that perfect kiss of smoke.
That's great. These are great ideas.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake that people make when they're barbecuing?
I think we're not patient enough. And what I mean by that is when you put seasoning on a steak or a piece of pork or lamb, let it sit there for about an hour before you throw it on the grill. Because that will allow those seasoning to really adhere to the meat.
Yeah.
And then let it rest afterwards. We are so quick of starting to slice the meat afterwards. And what happens when you put a steak or any kind of meat on a grill, the heat will push all that juices into the center of the steak. And if you cut it, boom, it will blow like a water balloon. And that's when you get all those juices on the cutting board.
Right, you
Let
want to keep it in there.
for 7 to 8 minutes before you slice into it. If you cook a brisket, you want to let it rest for 3 to 4 hours.
Great information. Thanks so much, Johan.
Thank you.
If you're still not confident in your barbecue skills, just head to the website for more information, or you can even pick up some of the Big Swede barbecue rubs, because I'm sure they're going to make everything taste better. The grill is the perfect way to make dinner this summer without the heat of the oven. Here's an idea. Try grilling an avocado for a smoky, delicious flavor to add to your next salad. All you do is cut the avocado in half, remove the pit, brush on a little bit of olive oil, and grill it flesh side down for about 3 minutes. Yum. Okay, stick around. We've got more coming up on Creative Living. We'll get planting and fertilizing tips from Armstrong Garden Centers. And I crash the craft room of a designer who shows us a cool dress for the summer. Armstrong Garden Centers have been around for 125 years, and they take the guesswork out of gardening.
Hi, I'm Luke Sims with Armstrong Garden Center, and today I've got 3 tips to spruce up your garden for spring. First off, to get your veggies and herbs in the ground as soon as possible to get a nice early start. We have over 30 varieties of tomato here at Armstrong, including Celebrity, which are these big guys right here. These are good for slicing and putting on sandwiches. They're even good by themselves, a little salt and pepper, and they're delicious. Another one we have are Romas. These are really popular in pretty much any Italian dish. They're good for sauces. They hold that pasta together real well. The last one we've got are the small cherries. We've got the Sun Golds and the Sweet 100s here. They're really sweet, bite size. You can toss them in a salad, and they give you the a great explosion of flavor when you bite into them. We also carry a myriad of herbs like rosemary, lavender, and basil. It's important to get them in early so that they can beat the heat once it comes. Rosemary you can use in cooking. It's a big hardy bush, a great staple for your garden. Next I've got lavender. These are great for cut flowers and making things like oils and soaps. They smell heavenly. Thirdly, I've got basil here. This is our most popular food herb that we've got. It is a great flavor, included in lots of Italian dishes. The flowers also happen to attract lots of pollinators like bees and butterflies for the garden. And you can pair them with things like flowering shrubs such as roses, tagetes, and other flowering shrubs. The next thing you can do to get your garden happy and healthy for spring is to use the proper soil. And from squash to succulents, we can meet all of your soil needs. It's very important to use an organic soil that is well drained with a high nutrient content and a regular fertilizer schedule. We've got the well-drained cactus soil, we've got healthy, hardy veggie soil, and we have a great all-purpose for any ornamentals that you want. Another thing you can do to keep your garden happy and healthy is to introduce beneficial insects. First of all, we have ladybugs that do things like eat aphids, mealybugs, and other soft-bodied insects. They're also really cute and fun for the kids. Another thing we've got are praying mantis. Praying mantis are a little bit bigger, a little more fun. They are going to eat larger things like caterpillars and flying insects. The last one I've got here are decollate snails. These are carnivorous snails that you introduce into the garden. They roam around and eat all of the bad snails that you don't want hanging around. For more tips on how to spruce up your garden this spring, stop by your neighborhood Armstrong Garden Centers and speak with one of our friendly gardening experts today.
I love designing and making clothes, so this next craft from Crash had me in my element, and it was so much fun. See how I did that? So much fun. This is Craft Room Crash, and I'm outside DIYer Angela Johnson's studio. Now, her passion for fashion outgrew her home, so she moved into this building to continue her one-of-a-kind design. So let's go crash her craft room and find out what Angela is making today.
Hi! Welcome to my studio. I'm so glad you're here.
So excited to be here.
Come in.
Okay, let's do this. This is a room full of sewing machines.
I co-founded a building called Fabric. It's the Fashion and Business Resource Innovation Center. It is a place where designers can find their resources. This is what I do the hems with.
This is a spaceship.
I know, look at this thing. I was able to close out my home studio, just move everything to the Fabric building, and so I have my little sewing studio here now.
This is like, hi, I'm Jane, and this is like, I am Angela Johnson Design.
My craft specialty is actually making ball gowns out of recycled t-shirts.
All of these t-shirts.
It's sort of a juxtaposition of punk rock and a lady.
So what are we making today?
Okay, so we're gonna make a t-shirt mini dress, and it's gonna be made out of all pink t-shirts.
So we've got tons of pink t-shirts. We're gonna start with these.
Yes. Then we're gonna take our pattern pieces and we're gonna lay them on the graphic.
Oh, patterns are like my worst nightmare ever.
That's going to be right along the edge of the back. Next, we're going to cut out our pattern pieces that we've traced.
So you're just going to dive in?
I'm just diving
You're not
in.
cutting up the seams?
Uh-uh.
She's crazy.
Just go for it.
I get a really serious face when I'm cutting.
Now we're going to sew together all of our pattern pieces using the industrial serger for stretch.
It seems pretty cool.
You are so cool.
You're so cool. Okay, great. So this is the top, right?
Yes, and I just finished the lining, so now we just need to cut the skirt. I'm gonna cut the skirt and I'll just bring it right back.
Okay, I'll wait here.
Now we're going to attach all of our garment parts together.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is it.
We've attached the top to the bottom. Last, we're going to insert the zipper.
That's so
All
cute.
we have left to do is the hem.
This whole machine just for a hem?
Just for a hem. I know, it takes like an hour to thread it. It's kind of a beast.
Let's not break any of those threads. This is adorable. 16 t-shirts into this fabulous dress. You are a magician.
Oh, thank you.
Angela, thank you so much for having me in your craft room.
Thank you for coming and checking it out. I can't wait. You have to put this on. I gotta see you in it.
Thanks so much to Angela. Now we all know how to take an old t-shirt and turn it into a runway-ready dress. And that is what Angela is doing in her craft room. What are you doing in your craft room? I'll see you next time. Another treat to put on the grill, peaches. Okay, here's how you do it. You're gonna cut the peaches in half and remove the pit. Now you're gonna put the cut side down on the grill rack and grill them till they're lightly brown and tender, about 10 minutes, and then serve them with some caramel sauce. Yummy. Okay, let's see what's coming up on the show. A touching story about a group of refugee women coming together to help learn a new skill and gain confidence. And we visit a hidden gem in Baton Rouge. A group of refugee women are helping each other weave new lives thanks to the help of Project Loom. Women from all over the world who have fled war and violence and are living as refugees in the United States join together on Chicago's North Side to support one another, collaborate by making it forward through an organization called Loom.
In Loom, women have opportunity to create different products and somehow share some of their culture. And I think with Loom, we give them opportunity and encourage them more, empower them more to show them that they do have a skill.
The women in the Loom program share their time and talents with each other so that they can create and sell their own handmade items to help support their families and give them financial independence.
Loom is a social enterprise of Catholic Charities where refugee women come together and make products to sell and bring home an income. It just creates a space for the women to make it whatever they want it to be. I think that it's really beautiful that Loom is a space for that.
Through our program, through all those years, we serve refugees from all over the world. All of us are together in this. Even though we are coming from different countries, different faiths, all of us, every human being, but I think especially refugees, all of us, we have something in common.
These women all come from different countries and they often don't speak the same language, but they all communicate through their art.
We all have something in common and we create Loom together. And so the products of Loom are all of our experiences and who we are put out into the world.
In Loom, we are making forward, and I think this is really great opportunity for us to show American people that refugees, and especially women, are coming to this country and that they are like self-sufficient, that they're bringing their values and that they are not burdened to this community. So I feel always proud, to show the product that one woman from Nepal, Burma, Afghanistan made.
I don't see myself as what makes their lives better. I just see my job as being able to create a space for them to be together and to use art in their lives.
You came to the United States as a refugee. You lived this, right?
Yes, I did. I came as a refugee 22 years ago in this country, and for us, we are really fortunate that we have a Loom and that we could give them chance to create community here.
With the help of Loom, these women are empowering themselves in their readjustment to a new life in a new country and culture.
When I came to Chicago, I came to Loom. Loom, very important to me, my family and my school. I need Loom all the time because Loom, my family. I'm very happy when I came and work with my friends.
The community that these women have built through Loom is multi-generational, multicultural, and it's women helping women live a more independent life by making it forward one stitch at a time. Don't go anywhere. We've got more to come on Creative Living. We head to a local dining spot in Louisiana.
Explore more ways that people are leading healthier lives. Head over to Yurview.com for additional videos from your health.
The locals in Baton Rouge call this grill one of their favorites. Let's take a look.
The building was built sometime in the 30s or 40s. It's been a lot of different things. It was an auto repair shop.
Yep.
It's been 20 different restaurants. And I think one of the greatest compliments we get when people come through the restaurant is we don't feel like we're in Baton Rouge. When somebody says, I feel like I'm in New Orleans or New York or someplace else, that's a great compliment.
We love the food and we love the happy hour. We come here because the food is always fresh. There's always something good, and you can tell that they take a lot of time and thought to go into the preparation of their meal.
We wanted to do something different and something unique and something that we thought maybe Baton Rouge was ready for. We had three basic principles when we put Couleur Street Grill together. That was the food had to be different and original. The place had to look fantastic. It had to look like something that maybe wasn't in Baton Rouge. And the third thing, of course, was that we wanted to have great service.
One of our ideas was let's almost transport people to a different place when they walk through the door. A lot of things, we take a lot of Creole influence, a lot of influence from New Orleans, a lot of old school Baton Rouge things. And when we brought together the team to come up with the idea of this place and what we thought we wanted it to look like, I think we did a very good job in really transporting people right when they walk through the door. A lot of things, we take a lot of Creole influence, a lot of influence from New Orleans, a lot of old school Baton Rouge things. We really knew that we were going to go very local. We were going to stay local. We were going to stay true to Baton Rouge, but also, we also think that we may know a little bit about them, so we can offer them something new, but still being right in line with things that they're very comfortable with and familiar with as well.
And I think one of the greatest compliments we get when people come through the restaurant is we don't feel like we're in Baton Rouge.
Thanks so much for joining us on Creative Living. Now get out and enjoy the summer. I'm Jane Manzuris, and I'll see you next time.